ballot initiative politics. Today, we are witnessing a repeat of the slash and burn strategy of well-funded falsehoods, as the Democrats appear to be blindsided by a barrage of lies and distortions about healthcare reform, inflamed by the Pravda of the Republican right, Fox News, and allowed to go unchallenged by the mainstream media who faithfully report the other side of the story, even if it is devoid of logic, reason, and truth. By the way, we did invite Ken Starr, who is counsel for the Yes on 8 campaign, to join us tonight, but he was busy. The good news is that my daughter's generation, the 25-year-olds and under, are so over this. They are totally post-race and sexual orientation. But ironically, as our society evolves towards a more enlightened future, those that make the laws are marching lockstep in the opposite direction, with the Supreme Court on the cusp of control by 4 of the most reactionary Catholic boys you could find in the 14th century: Scalia, Thomas, Alito, and Roberts. And I suspect these 4 angry men can't wait to get their hands on the same-sex marriage case in the San Francisco Federal Court being argued under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment by Ted Olson. There is a recent precedent with the Second Amendment case that overturned the DC gun ban. That case was shot by conservative activists who laid a fast track to the aforementioned 4 Supremes. So without suggesting Olson is insincere and Boyes is naive, the consequences of going into federal court as opposed to allowing the states to incrementally overturn gay marriage bans is something to watch and certainly something to discuss here tonight. We are clearly entering an electoral environment in which debate is likely to be more strident and divisive, particularly if the economic conditions deteriorate and people become more stressed and impatient and alienated. Since it is politically incorrect to hate Obama because he is a black man, the Glenn Becks, Rush Limbaughs, and Roger Ailes are giving permission to the haters to hate Obama based on lies they are propagating that our president is a foreign-born Muslim who wants to kill Down syndrome babies and pull the plug on grandma. So the issue of marriage equality will be debated in an increasingly ugly and acrimonious arena, and one hopes the muddled campaign of the past will be replaced by a more focused message, perhaps along the lines that this is a simple struggle between tolerance and bigotry, inclusion and segregation, love and hate. But while the so-called Christian right harnesses hatred, giving the flock permission to hate those who are asking for a license to love, we should not lose sight of the absurdity of the argument that marriage is a zero-sum game when it is apparently an under-resourced institution with a 50% failure rate. Clearly, there is not enough love in the world, and while it cannot be legislated, let alone outlawed, it sure is needed. Needed by the many who live with loneliness and the millions of children who grow up in anger and despair without the tender touch of a parent who can lead them into a world of hope and happiness. Finally, for a just cause to win, the majority of the votes will have to come from those affected by the discrimination inflicted on the minority who feel most of the pain.